Wow, 500 emails. That's how much I got from you after my Valentine's email that I sent out a few weeks ago. And it was wonderful reading through all of them and your stories about how I helped you and your efforts to get over your breakup and attract new love. Unfortunately, most of you had a very hard time during Valentine's. And that's why I wanted to take a few minutes to record a video for you answering the most common questions, the 7 most asked questions in those emails, in order to help you a little. And so I'm excited to answer these questions and sharing with you my new course. So let's start right away with the first question. I'm not going to read any names. I'm just going to read the question itself. Okay, here it comes. My ex came back and wants to be back together. I don't want him back, but I don't tell him this because I like the attention and I don't want to feel lonely as well. Okay, well, this is a classic. So you started your recovery and you started no contact, and you just the moment when you feel great, your ex calls and starts to make efforts to get back together again. And I can tell you, I had the very same problem back then in my own breakup, and she wanted to come back, and I was faced with an impossible decision. First of all, if you feel that you don't want to get back together again, then don't. There's no one forcing you. You don't have any obligations towards your ex. He or she left you. So I think the most important thing right now is you and your recovery. But I admit there are few consolations where getting back together is possible, even though they are minuscule. And I have to tell you, you don't want to hear this. I know I have to tell you that people rarely get back together, and it works out. They most often they break up again in a month. So, but when you have to make this decision, I advise you to consider 3 things. The underlying problem that caused the relationship to break up, is it still there? When you get back together, maybe it's wonderful for a week, but the problem is still there. And if you don't resolve it, if you don't talk about it, then it will will lead to the breakup again. So, is there a possibility for a healthy relationship? Is there a willingness on both parties to work on it, to have a big conversation about the problems, about the tough things, and are both partners emotionally involved in the same way? You know, this should be the main motivation, that the feeling behind all of it is still there. And in short, in a nutshell, if you don't tackle the problem that's behind it, you will break up again. So is there a possibility that will happen? Is there a willingness? If yes, then it might work. If no, then it's better to concentrate on yourself and to get the best out of this breakup, to be the best version that you can be. Okay? Okay, next question. I'm not doing well at all. I keep allowing him to break no contact. Nothing has changed. He is still married and I'm still heartbroken. Okay, this is a classic. You started no contact and you're working through all this stuff. And your ex keeps calling you, keeps texting you, keeps asking you questions, and he's sabotaging your healing. And well, in my course, there is this section called Obstacle 3, Ex Makes Contacts. And I've written about why the ex keep doing this. They have a motivation to do this, and what to do when they do. So let me just give you a few tips here. The better you are able to do no contact, the stricter it is, the better you will do. That sounds simple. It is simple. No contact is really, 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 really so important in your recovery. And if you give your ex too much power, and no contact is a way to get the power back, as opposed to being helpless. And if you give your ex too much power, if you answer their calls and keep playing their games, then you will lose and you will fall back every time. So keep no contact strict, follow the golden rules that I have in my course, and you will feel much better. I promise you this. Okay, next question. How to maintain no contact when you have to see your ex every day because you have kids together? Okay, this is a classic. People think that they cannot do no contact when the ex is still around, because you have kids together or you are working at the same place or you have the same circle of friends. But while you cannot do the classic no contact where the ex is not around, you can do something that I call reduced no contact. And because it's so important, and it happens so often, I've created a completely new chapter about this in my course. It's called Obstacle to Ex is Still Around. What I do there is basically I teach two things. Number one, a behavioral guide around being around your ex, and a preparation guide before you go to the meeting. And this is something that is so important because you have to prepare yourself before you see your ex. You have to have a certain mindset, you have to follow certain rules. And this is so important because so people are not doing this, and that's why they feel so bad afterwards and experience a fallback in their recovery. And when you go in there prepared and then follow a certain set of rules, like avoiding no eye contact or keeping it strictly business around the kids, and not playing their games because they will try to pull you into the games, then you will be good when you follow the rules. There are, I think, 7 rules or something. But really the key is preparing yourself and following the rules. And I know it's really, really hard when the ex is still around to get over them, but it's possible. It's possible. It may take a little longer, but believe me, it's possible. Many have done it, and so can you. Okay, next question. How do I feel? Lonely, betrayed, discarded, and used. 20 months after she left, I think about her 20 times a day. I hate her, love her, miss her, crave her, and regret marrying her. My biggest frustration is why I'm completely unable to move on with my life. She has. Okay, the mental obsession. I remember it from my own breakup, and it was terrible. It was like your brain is a heavy machine working 24/7, thinking about things you've said, things they've said, and the what ifs and if onlys, and it's really wearing you off emotionally. And it's so vital to stop this vicious circle of thoughts, how I call it. It is so important to stop this. And in my opinion, it's what is responsible for how you feel today. And that's why in my course, I have several techniques that allow you to stop thinking of your ex and to retake control of your emotional and your thoughts. But what I wanted to tell you today is this strange thing, how your ex is able to move on so quickly. And I remember it, I think almost one day after a breakup, she started to enjoy life, to meet people, and to be happy. And it's so difficult to understand how they are able to do that. Whereas we are at home devastated and completely and utterly broken. How could they move on so quickly? And the reason is that they emotionally separated from us weeks before the actual breakup happened. So they simply had more time to move on. So they moved on during the relationship. Maybe we've noticed it, maybe not, but they simply had much more time than we have if the breakup came out of the blue for us to move on. So that's the reason. Okay, next question. It's been over 3 years and I still love him. How do I let go? Okay, 3 years is really a long time. And it's simple. I think it's sad that people are having a hard time for so long after the breakup. And one of the reasons is that you've never consciously let go of your ex. And or maybe you got used. There are people who get used to the feeling of feeling bad, of the breakup pain, and they allow that the pain defines who they are. But what you have to do is you really have consciously to let go. And there are a few let go techniques that you can use that I call them letting go ceremonies. So it's really something that you have to do consciously. You have to say goodbye, write a letter, burn the letter, or throw something down a river that is meaning to you. It really helps if you do this consciously. The conscious process of letting go helps you to move on. This is one of the secrets to let go after a long time. That you do this letting go ceremonies, and that you avoid that the breakup starts to define who you are. Okay. Next question is, my question for you is, how do you know when you are ready to date again? The thought of allowing anyone into my heart still feels like cheating in my love space. Is it time, action, or just going slow? Okay, this is very, very often asked. And in my course, it's a completely section, it's a completely part 3, reopening, leap into a new life. Well, it's difficult because how do you know that you're ready to move on before you try? But when you try too early, you will crush and burn. When you try too early and you're not prepared, it will really throw you back. So I advise against trying too early to date again. There are a few preconditions that you must have before you start dating. You have to have accepted the breakup and moved on already. You cannot date and have fun while you still have your ex in your head. So acceptance and letting go is a precondition of dating. Before that, don't even try. Don't even start it. It will only frustrate you and throw you back. And you have to have gone through all these negative emotions. You have to live through the pain, through the breakup itself, before you can open up again. And one of the biggest things in dating is confidence. It's one of the biggest pillars of the dating life. So you cannot be confident if you haven't reconnected to yourself, to the person you really are. That's why most people have difficulties dating after a breakup, because they simply start too early. They haven't found themselves. They haven't worked on the core. So there is no real confidence, and they crash and burn. So you got to have gained a strong strong sense of self before you start dating. And when you do, always have the mindset of having fun and not, I just want to partner a long-lasting relationship. That's wrong. You have to have the mindset that today I just want to have fun. I want to laugh. I want to meet something interesting, and that's it. So you have to have accepted the breakup. You have to let go, and you have to reconnect to your own self before you can start dating. Okay? Okay, next question is, I realized why none of my relationships was successful. In every relationship, I became codependent, making my partner my sole a source of happiness. I became clingy, possessive, and needy. My biggest frustration is whether I would ever be able to love someone else so much, or will I ever get true love, and will I ever be able to get over him like 100% so that I would not bother at all about his life. Okay, this is what I was talking about in the question before. And this is the part 2, one of the biggest parts of the course, is the emotional detox, the rebuilding. It's one of the big things in breakup recovery. It's one thing is to get over them, but it's a completely different thing to fix the reasons that led to the breakup. And that's what you are doing in the rebuilding process that I teach in part 2 of the course. It's simply reconnecting to your true self. It's evaluating the relationships you've had, and it's simply finding the reasons why relationships went wrong and learning from those. You know, I had the problem that every relationship failed. I simply went from relationship, breakup, relationship, breakup, relationship, breakup, and all for the same reasons. And once I found the reasons why I keep self-sabotaging my relationships and why I keep attracting the wrong partners all the time, and then I made the huge leap in my life. You know, my next relationships were completely different. The people I've met were completely different, and that's what really enabled me to find my love of my life, my wife. And that's what you have to do. You have to reconnect. You have to dig deep. It's painful. It's really I can tell you, in digging your past, finding the things that hurt, it's really not nice. But you have to do it. You have to work on this, and this will enable you to really move forward once and for all, and to bulletproof your heart against future breakups. That's what it is. I think that's one of the biggest and most important things in the recovery, the reconnection and the rebuilding process. And you cannot skip it. If you skip it, you will go into the cycle of breakups, relationship. Don't do that. Make this really once and for all, get done with it and move on. Okay. Well, this was basically it. I think I've answered all the 7 questions, and I hope this was helpful to you. And if it was helpful, please leave a comment and tell me what helped you the most. And if you have a few moments, to share it on Twitter or Facebook, and maybe someone else needs it. So I thank you for listening, and have a nice day, and I see you soon. Bye.